Road Preserver 2000 here, back again doing another live stream here. And yeah, as you can tell, I'm in Hamlet, North Carolina, a place I've been to twice before. Well, I'm currently for a train or two, but and y'all are gonna probably find this humorous. I haven't seen one. We got here at around 1:30, and it's now around 2:30. And I haven't seen a single train. So I don't know if we got here when the lull happens or what, but there has not been a single train, and I've only heard one. And I don't know where it went off to. I only heard it and I didn't see it. So yeah, I don't really know, and this is kind of a you talk about a way to lower somebody's morale, or at least a rail fan's morale. I mean, this is it. Because, I mean, because when you come to a place like this, you expect to see, like, a lot of train action on, like, one day in the span of a few hours. And you assume, oh, it'll always be like this, and yet, this is a case of me where I have assumed that being the case, and now it's just not like that. I don't know what to do. I don't want to call it off, because I'm afraid that then when I do, it'll be a major case of Murphy's Law when I end up missing the trains that do come through. I mean, we're going to be here till 4, but the chances of me seeing anything now are slim. If it's going to be like this, start out like this where there's nothing, then yeah. And also, that is a major issue. And there's a bolt holding this diamond together, and it's almost completely come unscrewed. So yeah, CSX, you might want to fix that, buddy. Just saying. Also, they've changed out every dang signal here, so all of them are gone. Yeah, all the old Seaboard era signals are gone. All the old searchlights and signal bridges are gone. I started filming here before they ended up taking them out. They were still here at least as recently as 2016, 2017. But yeah, they're all gone now, all the old signals. I would have thought the museum here would have saved one, at least one. But no, they never did. They didn't even save the searchlight. Or they didn't even, as far as I know, I don't think they even saved a lens. I do have to laugh. I mean, I don't know why there's not a train coming. But, I mean, really, this is a kind of cruel twist of fate. Because I heard a horn. It came from that direction, and yet here I am waiting, and there's nothing coming. I know there's a yard here, but so I mean, like what? Is CSX closing all of this or something, and I don't know about it? Jesse, you have YouTube paranoia. Well, this here is a genuine case of rail fan paranoia. Truly, because I've only got a limited amount of time to be here, and literally, I don't know if I'm going to see anything. I mean, heck, I can't even tour the locomotive they got on display here because there's nobody in the building adjacent to the depot right there. There's no one there. They're having a meeting, so I can't get permission to walk around on the engine. That would be, I mean, if I could go home with that footage of just that'd be fine. But an operating train would be better, and I'm not seeing anything. I mean, I guess I could do this to kill some time, though. So, I mean, there's the depot. Y'all know that. I mean, almost every rail fan in Hamlet, I think, knows about the depot, and then you've got the park with the Seaboard locomotive and the caboose. Then you got yourselves Main Street here, which runs across the tracks into the town. That's downtown there. In fact, I'll walk over real quick to show you. Well, actually, I'm going to get the camera. I'll leave it here. I'm worried someone will steal it, which would suck. Yeah, my camera bag. I love this. The one thing I like to come down here and do, and I can't do it because there's nothing here. There's nothing coming. I mean, this is cruel in a rail fan sense, because literally, I heard a train horn. I know I heard a train horn, and it came from the direction of the yard, and yet there's no train. Like, what the heck? Like, what the heck? I mean, CSX, this is time that's being spent, that's being wasted here. You could be using it to actually move freight and making profit, but you're just, what the heck? It's not doing anything. Trains aren't supposed to sit still, they're supposed to go. Get things moved. You're supposed to get stuff shipped on time without delay. This is a bit of a delay. Major delay. I must say, I mean, this is really kind of downheartening to me. I mean, really, it is, because there's like nothing coming. There's nothing coming. Nothing at all. The only reason the dime is creaking is because the metal's expanding in the heat, and plus the cars are crossing the tracks further up on either end, and that's causing it to, that shockwave's traveling through the metal. And the time is 2:42. And I mean, I don't want to call it because I don't know if any, because I don't know. Hey. And there is another matter. Me and Jesse were talking last night, and apparently, I don't know why, but someone somebody, and I don't know who, but, and I'm not even going to give names at all, but someone has struck two videos that Jesse made like years back, and we're both concerned. We don't know who it is, but I mean, whoever you are, you could at least, give my friend why, okay? I'm just saying, that's all. I'm not making any names. I'm not trying to say any names. I don't even remember who it was, but I mean, listen. Okay, listen. This is something that Jesse does as a job. He does it as a kind of career, and it's a passion project. He does it because he likes to do it. And I enjoy making videos with Jesse. He's my friend, for God's sakes. Heck, he and I have done like videos together for about 3 years now. And really, I don't want to lose that. It keeps us both sane. In other words, it's something we both like to do. It keeps us in contact. It gives us something to do and something to look forward to doing. And I mean, sure, there's some times where it's stressful, but that's normal. Heck, this here's an example of something that's stressful towards me. I hear a train, and yet I can't tell which way it's coming from, and I can't even see it coming because there is nothing coming. But yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't know why people can be so cruel to one another. I don't know why people like Jesse get essentially picked on or teased or freaking bullied outright. Just because, you know what, he's doing something he loves to do. You don't, if you got a problem with it, don't be doing stuff like this. Just move on. Forget about it. Just move on. Now I do YouTube myself. I mean, this live stream here proves that, but I do it as a hobby. I don't do it as like a job. I don't do YouTube for a job. I do it as a hobby because filming stuff is something I like to do. That there shows it. I mean, this image you're seeing right now live couldn't embody both of my main interests better. Trains and film. And that can also be concerning trains, film, and photography, and travel. I mean, this is because I didn't come up here in 2018. This is my first time back in 2 years. So, I mean, yeah. See, that was some cars there with a diamond. I will say though, why Virtual Rail fan doesn't know this place is beyond me. It's like Ellaby's friend's brother. If he hadn't have told Ellaby and I about this place, we would have never found it. He would have never known it would have existed. And Amtrak should also be proud of this depot. It's something rare. You don't see a Victorian era station like this anymore. Heck, for all I know, it could be the only one of its type left. I mean, there's plenty of buildings in the Victorian style of architecture, but in terms of train depots, as far as I know, this is the only one that's preserved and even still being used. I'm sorry, y'all. I know y'all are probably joining to see trains, and I know your guys are coming and leaving on y'all's own, and that's understandable. If one doesn't come at 2:50 or 3, then I'm gonna just say forget about it. Besides, there's other places I can film at. I feel like we've already failed in this trip. I mean, we were going to come up here to Hamlet so I could film trains, and there's no trains to film. There's a house we're going to try and tour at Brook Green Gardens, and they won't let you film or photograph anything, so I mean, literally the only thing I can say that I've done on this trip is been able to try some of North Carolina and South Carolina's freshest seafood. That's literally it. I'm kidding you not. But in terms of stuff I want to try and do, there's nothing for it. I mean, the only thing I've been able to that I've only filmed is just literally time lapses. That's the only thing I filmed. Only thing. Hey Kevin, hey Dominasaur. I'm sorry, all. I mean, this here is a real down, but this here is a real, really, I don't know how you describe it. This is really downheartening, because, I mean, every other time I've come here, I've always caught a ton of trains in one day. This is the first time where I've come here and have caught nothing. Now I kind of now I know how my stepdad feels when he's hunting or fishing and doesn't catch or kill anything. I can see just how disheartening that would be. He wants to try and get himself another deer or another freaking fish or something like that. And for me, I'm just trying to get another train and I'm not seeing anything. So Thomas, if you see this stream, man, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like hunting and fishing and not seeing anything. It's very disheartening, and I think this is a good example of that. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm literally waiting for trains, and I'm literally losing time. We're only going to be here till 4 o'clock today, and so really, this doesn't exactly help my case much. I've got my camera out here. I've got my phone out here in case I see something unexpectedly. And there's literally nothing coming. There's nothing coming. I've only heard one train horn and it came from the distance that way. And ever since then I haven't seen or heard anything else. Like, what the heck? And I mean, how cruel is that? You hear a train horn. Oh, Kevin, look at my videos from when I first came up here to Hamlet. Look at them. It shows what happens here on a good day in terms of rail fanning. I think I just came on a bad day. I literally am just thinking this is a thing that depends on the week. Or since it's spring break, they might not have any, they might not be running a lot of trains. Who knows? I'm pretty sure that's not the case, but for God's sakes, what the heck? And if there wasn't a lot of traffic here, then why would there be a rail yard probably just around the curve up there? And why would there be this beautiful thing here, huh? This was a railroad hub at one time. I think this shows just how bad it got to where it's no longer one. I know, and I'll be home at Saturday. I'll already be back in Georgia on Saturday. Heck, I'll be home Saturday. I'm like y'all. I think this is literally a case of it depending on the day of the week. Wait a minute. Holy Toledo. Wait a dang second. Orange caution signal. Red over orange over red. We might just get something after all. That's the first dang signal I've seen change all day, and it's at 2:53 no less. Okay, so I now know there's going to be a train coming from that way. And since it's on this track, he's going to hit the diamond. That's my guess. That's the only reason this signal would be orange, is if he was coming on this track in front of me. I'll be back. I'm not going to end the stream, but you won't be seeing anything for a minute or two. I've got 4 different crossings, though, and that one up ahead will be... I'm sure there's more than one in that direction, so, yeah. And if the meeting is over by now, I'm going to ask and see if I can go walk through the engine they have on display. Just in case if this train that comes through is the only one I see, God, at least I can film the engine. I want to do a better job than I did the last time. That's why I've got the power shot. And I'm thinking, should I do it close to the diamond, like here, and as a low angle shot, like how I did in here, like kind of like that, looking up at the train as it passes, or should it be at like this? At the height of the camera? Y'all let me know in the stream's chat. Low angle, looking up, or high angle looking towards it? Let me know. When I looked at these signals, they were facing red. And I know the same trains that come through here go through Cordele. Because I caught a coal train here that came into the yard, reversed down the Y, and then I caught him again like almost 20 to 30 miles later in Mullins. Like literally right at a road that is at the city limits. You talk about a rather disheartening day for a rail fan. I mean, literally. I'm gonna make this quick here. Huh? There was only the signal going for trains crossing the diamond this way, only orange around a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
I'm like you. This is rather disheartening. I heard a train horn earlier, but I haven't seen anything.
Well, you know, this is part of train watching.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Everyone just told me it's better on Saturdays. Literally. Someone told me it's like Saturdays when they have the most trains coming through.
Well, unfortunately, we're not here on Saturday.
I know, I mean, I can't even get permission to walk through the dang engine they have on display because no one's there. Honestly. What? Yes. It's the only shot I've got, and I'm going to take it no matter how long it takes. Except if it's going to be a train that comes through at night. If that's the case, then I'm sorry, y'all. I'll have to call it then. I mean, really, this is truly disheartening. And that's the thing. Some of you guys, pro rail fans, have an advantage. You have a radio scanner, or at least some form of radio scanner. I got nothing. Nothing. I don't have a radio scanner. I'm sorry, y'all, but I feel like as a rail fan, I might have failed y'all today. Heck, I'll probably be trying to film some birds at Brook Green Gardens. That's one thing we were going to try and do, is go to Brook Green Gardens. I think I will say one thing though. If I don't see a train here, I might be able to see one at Georgetown. I might be able to see one at Georgetown and at Bennettsville. There's some cars that are being cut up at Bennettsville. They're being scrapped. And I saw it looked to be one with a fallen flag name, and I asked my grandmother if we could go back to Mullins that way so we could stop and I could film them. And I saw something else of interest. And that is that the on the way here, on the way to Georgetown, we followed a railroad line in that had some of these older signals that would have been here, but they were mounted, instead of the searchlights being mounted vertically, they were mounted horizontally. They were mounted like, instead of like this, they were mounted like this. They were along US Route 521, and there's also an old station along that route too. And I'm going to see if we can go back that way going home. So I might be able to at least have something railroad related to film and photograph. I installed one to see if it had Hamlet on it, and it didn't, so I got rid of it. And I'm sure someone tried to get a scanner app in place, but it never went through apparently. And just because I got an orange signal doesn't mean I'll even see the train that it's showing for. Heck, for all I know, that could be one that'll come through after dark. I'm kind of surprised Virtual Railfan doesn't know about this place. I really am very surprised. And this is one of 2 locations I know of where a railroad crosses itself. Hamlet being where CSX pretty much crosses itself multiple times. But if there was any place I could recommend for train watching in terms of here in the South, it's Cordele, Georgia. And let me tell you something, I've actually had more luck catching trains there than in Folkestone, if that gives you any clue. And plus, unlike Folkestone, you only has like those 2 cabooses that you can stay in, and there's only like that one cafe in the center of town. There's no hotels. There's really no other restaurants there. Not anymore. I mean, with Cordele, there's more places to stay, more places to eat. And I mean, since the railroad's literally in the heart of the town, you can literally park in the Sam Short Line's parking lot down there, and you can, like during the day, and it doesn't matter what day you go down there. You can catch action from CSX to Norfolk Southern to the heart of Georgia to the Sam Short Line and the Genesee and Wyoming. That's 5 railroads all going through that town at once. I've caught the Sam Short Line. I rode the train. I've caught the Genesee and Wyoming pulling a heart of Georgia freight train, and it had 2 GP16s on the point. I've caught CSX doing a switch job with them. I've caught plenty of CSX manifests, intermodals, you name it, going through. I've caught plenty of Norfolk Southern, including 2 that I filmed in the rain outside of Cordele up in Ashburn, Georgia. So, I mean, if you guys want a place that you could say could rival Folkestone, at least in terms of the traffic, it's Cordele. I know from first-hand experience. I've been there twice, and it's never failed me. It's like Hamlet on the first 2 trips. It never failed me. And I'm fine with 1 train. I don't care if it's 1 train. 1 train's better than no train. And of course, I've got the freight cars that are being scrapped in Bennettsville. I want to film the few that still have visible railroad logos before they're cut up. Because they're literally taking a claw kind of thing to them and chopping them up. Like literally pushing them off the tracks too and cutting them up. Now I don't know if that's ex-Carolina Southern trackage or not. I don't know, but still. It's something you could, like, guys might be able to look forward to if the railroad names are old enough. Now I will say, the reason I haven't been able to get into the engine is because some stupid teenagers, from what I remember reading about a year or 2 back, had apparently tried to set the caboose on fire, and so they've now got it to where you've got to go ask permission to walk through the caboose in the engine, which is fine. I'm glad. I honestly wanted them to have that. They honestly should have had the engine and caboose under lock and key, at least in terms of the gate that surrounds them. I'm glad to see the caboose is okay. I mean, I didn't want to know. I was worried those stupid teens burned it down to the frame, so I'm glad that that's not the case. Also, a thing of interest that I just now noticed is the telegraph poles that were still up are gone. If you guys look at my videos that I filmed here early on, there's a video titled just 9 seconds of random telegraph poles. There was multiple telegraph poles around the old the station's old foundation that still had all the old wiring and the insulators still attached. And I hated CSX came in and just knocked them out. They just took them down. Heck, right there is I think all that's left. Or no, that's a searchlight. Dang it. That's kind of upsetting, really. They should have left that. I mean, if anything, the museum here in Hamlet should have acquired at least one of the old lenses from one of the old signals that they took out. I even asked an employee, hey, could you give one of these old signals, at least the lights, to the depot here in Hamlet? They wouldn't have to be turned on. They could at least put them in that park there by the engine or in this clearing right here. This would be perfect for some of the old seaboard signals. At least one or two, at least one, for God's sakes. And if not the entire signal assembly, just the light. Just the lens itself, the glass lens would have been perfect. Because they don't even make those signals anymore. They're obsolete since CTC and positive train control came out. But there is literally a glimmer of hope. I mean, whether or not that train will come through sometime soon is beyond me. Because it's 3:06 right now. If he doesn't come through at around 3:30ish or so, then I might call it. Because I know that I can't stay out here till like dark. Because the station closes at 5 o'clock and I don't want to. So, I mean, yeah. I'm not going to give up. I'm about as stubborn as some other rail fans are. I mean, I'm not upset. I mean, I know there'll always be another train for me to film, even if it's not. And it's not just in Hamlet. It's funny. I've actually had more luck in Hull than I have here. So I caught 2 trains in Hull and along the Abbeville suburbs that CSX has running through Athens and all. I've caught 2 trains in Carlton. I love it. Maybe that was a sign, there's not going to be anything running in Hamlet. And if it is, it's going to be really late. Like, who knew? Now, I will say I am going to try and see if... I do want to see if I can film that locomotive, the Seaboard Jeep there. Because sure, I filmed it once. But that was back when I had a bad But that's back with my camcorder, my old camcorder that I've had now for almost 5 years. So, yeah. Yeah. Well, if not here, then I'm sure I'll catch a train somewhere else along here before I have to head home, surely. I'll probably have more sunburn than I will trains on film. But yeah, I don't know if any of you know about the depot, but that's where it originally sat, right there. That's the old platform. That right there is the old platform for the depot. The old for the Hamlet depot. I think there would have been an old hotel right in here. What they did with the depot is they actually jacked it up intact, and they moved it across the tracks to where it sits now, currently. Like they literally rotated the building 90 degrees, and then they jacked it up and they moved it using hydraulic trucks, or like, in other words, like the wheel, like, you know, the truck wheels. They put it on those, and since they were driven by hydraulics, they moved it over here and then set it down. I know, Kevin, I can feel you on that. It's not just boring to me, it's kind of disheartening when you come to a place like this for the first time, and that first time gives you plenty of trains, and then you come back the next day and the same thing happens. And then when you come back the third time, it's like, you know, what the heck happened? I mean, yeah. It's not really boring. It's kind of disheartening, really, because you'd think, really, I think what's happened here is I've assumed that I'll just see a ton of trains when I come. And I think that I now know that's not the case. But it's kind of odd. I've never come to Hamlet on a Saturday. I've never filmed trains here on a Saturday. It's usually been, I think, on either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, whichever day we were here. We decided to come by, and we've always caught trains. If not a lot, at least one or two. Of course, I've only come twice. I came in 2016 and 2017. It's funny, I have asked, you know, when I wouldn't mind going back to Folkestone, I will say that, because let's face it, the videos I filmed there were terrible. I mean it, they were terrible. I got rid of them all. I've since deleted them off my channel. And when I say they're terrible, that's really telling you something. I mean, I didn't even hold the camera straight. I didn't even hold it as well as I'm holding my phone now. It's like watching a pot it's like watching water boiling in a pot. It's like you're waiting for it to boil. It will never boil. It's like the longer you sit and wait, the longer it will take to boil. I literally think that's the case. I bet if I were to take my mind off of this and think of something else, I bet there'll be another train. I bet that's going to be when the train shows up, or it's going to come like the minute I'm having to leave. I'll laugh so hard if that's the case. I'm going to laugh so hard if that's the case, where literally the minute I leave, that's when the train comes through. I will have to laugh. I will say, though, I am kind of concerned about that. Because if you look, I remember the last time I was here, this railroad diamond's bolts were literally just being vibrated loose from the trains passing over the diamond, and that there is a result of that. I saw a CSX work truck cross the tracks a few hours earlier, and I was tempted to stop him and ask, you know, hey, there's a bolt on the diamond that's almost about to fall out into the center of the tracks. Can you send somebody to fix it? But I never did. I think I should, because I'm kind of worried that's going to be a problem. Well, they need to find a way to I know they can never make a diamond that's a solid cast with everything being like a solid cast. There's no way. Heck, I bet you they'd probably You wait a few more years, they might even find a way to make diamonds obsolete. I know some railroads now have it so that the rail goes up at an incline and just goes over the tracks. Like they put a piece of rail in the center. It's not even connected. It's not even this huge assembly. It's just like, it's a rail that essentially goes up. It picks the flange up and it crosses it over the gap, over where there's a gap cut in the metal for the rails for the other track here. Goes over that raised rail through the center of the track and then goes back down on the other side. It's kind of like a little overpass for the train's wheel flanges, which is a really good idea, but there's only a few railroads I know of that use it. And unfortunately, I don't think CSX is one of them. I do know they use welding, if that, as you can see there. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, y'all. I hate it. The main reason I wanted to come back was so I could just try and do better. I could try and improve on what I did the last time I was here. One of those things was trying to not talk when I was filming the train passing. I love it. Like the minute we got into Georgetown, I saw the lights of an oncoming train, but the only place I could have filmed in was at the crossing, and there was only one, and it was on the main road in and out of town. There was no others that went near the tracks. Not one road. Not one. Not one. Hey, like, I'm really sorry, y'all. I mean, that was one of the main things. Hamlet is one of the main things we were gonna, my grandmother and I were wanting to try and do for this trip, and this is the first time in years that it's yielded nothing, where nothing has happened. I love it. It's 43 minutes of me waiting for a train. And I love it. This is 43 minutes of me waiting for a train instead of 43 minutes of me filming trains. Like, truly. It's 3:19 now. I love it. They have radio. They have like the music coming through a radio station and blaring out through the station. It's funny. Why don't they have a separate set of speakers for like a radio scanner? Like, why don't they sponsor a radio scanner here in Hamlet for rail fans like myself? I mean, that probably would have given me a reason as to why there's not any train traffic coming through. Well, y'all, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I'm going to call it. I'm honestly going to call it. I'll check. I don't think it's going to do any good. No, it's still at orange, but I'm going to call it. Heck, if anything, I might have better luck filming all the train cars that are in Bennetville more than anything, because it may not be just because the train ain't moving doesn't mean it's going to be, I can't, just because it's not moving doesn't mean it's not interesting, because those box cars are old box cars. I think they were ones that Carolina Southern stored before they shut down, and well, they were basically abandoned and they're being scrapped right now, so I want to film them before they're gone. Because I saw one car that still had a fallen flag name. And I'm also going to try one last time to get permission to film the engine. I may walk through that. But I'm probably going to call it, and if anything, I'm probably going to use my phone to film the engine. So yeah. I will I'm not going to end the stream. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to call it. I've got everything packed. I'm going to try for it in Bennettsville. So I'm going to end the stream. And once I get to Bennettsville, I'm probably going to just use YouTube's video recording thing. I don't know how long it'll let you record for, but yeah. I will, I'll be seeing y'all later.